Ribot, Amad Diallo, Roof and Kent. So new signing Aaron Ramsey not yet ready to feature or even on the bench. On the bench for Rangers, Lundstrom, Jack, Davis, Itten, Sands, Balogun, Sakala, McLaughlin and Lowry. Referees Bobby Madden underway at 7:45 p.m. for Celtic versus Rangers. Fast approaching kick-off at Celtic Park for the Old Firm derby this.
Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on this independent off-tube studio commentary. The Old Firm derby has just got underway. Looks like a cauldron atmosphere at Celtic Park as these two old enemies go head-to-head once again. And with Celtic just behind Rangers in the league. Rangers 2 points ahead, already trying to get forward here. Rebo charging through, getting towards the edge of the area before the ball is picked off in there by Hatate. And straight away, Celtic trying to get on the attack. It's an end-to-end start inside the first 30 seconds. Ball now getting towards the edge of the area. It's just a little bit too much there for Otter to chase. And that is out for a goal kick. But a nice prognosis of how this game could go for us this evening. It's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and Simon Barlow taking you through the action aside. It looks like it's going to be an open game.
Yeah, that early sort of exchanges looked pretty promising, didn't it? I mean, I think nerves are going to play a big factor tonight, Paul. These two sides have obviously shown nerves in the week leading up to this game in some very sort of off-colour performances where, you know, Celtic were lucky not to drop points against Hearts, and then Rangers did against Ross County with goalkeeper McGregor making a couple of glaring errors. Well, the manager, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, has kept faith in him tonight, but he's made one change as well, up top with Kemar Roof in for Cedric Itten. Absolutely. We'll just run through the 11s very briefly in a second, but it looked as though Celtic were going on the attack down the left-hand side. They're back on the halfway line now. They have Joe Hart in goal. Back four of Josip Juranovic, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt and Greg Taylor. Three in midfield, Matt O'Reilly, Callum McGregor and Reo Hatate, with Liel Abada, Hota and Georgios Giacomakis as the three up front. For Rangers, it is Alan McGregor in goal. A back four of James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, Calvin Bassey and Borna Barisic. Three in midfield, Scott Arfield, Glenn Kamara and Joe Aribo, with Amad Diallo, Ryan Kent and Kemar Roof as the three up front. A couple of minutes on the clock. Has been a bright start. Celtic seeing just a little bit more of the ball in these early stages. Rangers playing out from the back, and already under pressure there was Tavernier. Tries to get the ball forward. It's knocked out for a throw. But of course now, since the introduction, well, since the removal of the away fans, it's a slightly different atmosphere at these Old Firm games now. Well, yeah, I mean, this match could have been played with just 500 spectators in the ground if you know, the Scottish First Minister hadn't you know, allowed that. Well, the SPL hadn't brought about the early winter break, and then of course now the rules are that, you know, stadiums can be full again, but this could have been played out with just 500 fans in the ground in January. Well, here comes Celtic again though with Hatate. Bit of space at the edge of the area. Spots Kent on the right as it puts a cross in, which is quickly headed away back into midfield, and it's McGregor trying to keep the ball alive there for Celtic. Kent now trying to bring the ball away here for Rangers, but the home side still keep possession with Juranovic down the right-hand side. His cross charged down, and Barisic, can he keep that in play? I don't think he can. It is going to be a Celtic corner. Yeah, loose touch there from Callum McGregor. I think it might be one of his first touches of the game. It initially allowed Roof to get on the ball, but then Kent lost the ball under his legs, and Celtic won it back, won the corner. Yeah, they've taken it short, and it's now with Hodser, right-hand edge of the penalty area. Puts a decent cross in as well. It's into the 6-yard box. A great chance. It's just stopped on the line, and eventually it is Ryan Kent that clears it for Rangers up towards the halfway line, where Juranovic was the last man back for Celtic after that corner kick. But already a bit of action in front of Rangers' goal. Yeah, fantastic cross. He's known for that. Those great deliveries on the right foot, and he's involved again. Here come Celtic again down the right-hand side. Abada just rolls the ball into the box this time. Hatate under a bit of pressure, just trying to get away from Kamara, and he rolls it back towards the halfway line. Carter-Vickers now square to Starfelt. He started ranging forward like he thought he might have a shot from distance. Back now with McGregor, who's still got the mask on. Space now for Liel Abada, breaking into the penalty area. Nobody's charging him down, puts a cross in. It's deflected out by Barisic. It's another corner. Yeah, it's good pressure from Celtic. This the earlier cross from Jota resulted in a bit of mayhem in the Rangers penalty area, and I think it was O'Reilly who got the shot away in the end. Yeah, Matt O'Reilly, whose effort was blocked on the line.
Well, it's O'Reilly with the left-footed corner. Now it's another good one just towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Drops at the edge of the area. It's a strike from Hatate. And Celtic take the lead inside 5 minutes. Rangers are unhappy. They've got a man down inside the box. But on 5 minutes, it's Celtic who take the lead.
Yeah, I think the goal's going to stand, Paul. It was a lovely shot through a crowd of bodies, but there was one body lying on the deck, and I think it might be Bassi or maybe Aribo, who was lying on the ground as that ball went past goalkeeper McGregor. McGregor may have been slightly put off by the fact that one of his defenders was lying on the ground in front of him, but don't take anything away from the strike from Reo Hatate. This was a quite brilliant effort. Control and bang with just the minimum fuss.
Absolutely, controls it with the left, sits it up, and then it just strikes through it with the right foot. There is a little bit of activity in front of McGregor there. There's certainly no foul. I think what Rangers are saying is that there's a head injury, but it's 2 or 3 seconds after it reaches Hatate. The referee's not going to stop play there.
No, referee's never going to stop play there. Hatate saw his opportunity, struck it cleanly enough. I wouldn't say it was a completely, true strike, and it took a bit of a deflection on its way past McGregor, but it's right into the corner, and it's just what Celtic wanted, to get this crowd fully. Not that they were never going to be fully behind them, but it just means that Rangers have a doubly difficult task now to overturn this. But the referee is having a bit of a word in his ear here about possibly the incident before the goal.
You used the word overturn, and I'm just wondering whether the referee is considering it. Bobby Madden is our referee this evening. The Rangers man is still down inside the 6-yard box, and I'd be very surprised if they were to disallow this. I think he seems to be pointing towards the halfway line, so it looks like, is it going to stand?
Well, they've checked it. I didn't see what he said. It's a clash of heads between two Rangers players.
I think it's Bassi and Aribo that run into each other, and then it's controlled by Hatate, hits it, and it gets a slight deflection before it beats McGregor.
Yeah, goal stands.
The goal does stand. Yeah, I think there was always going to be a little bit of a discussion because of the way the two players went down. But that said, we're still waiting for the game to restart. It may just be because of the head injury to Bassi there. He's picked himself up now. He should be okay to play on. And Rangers, well, they're still unhappy here. Tavernier just having another word with the referee. But this is not the start that Gio Van Bronckhorst's side wanted here.
No, not at all. They were a little bit defensively suspect up at Dingwall against Ross County. 3-3 draw, not the greatest way to come into this game, and maybe we're seeing signs again there that Rangers just haven't quite got the defensive solidity in certain areas that they had last season. I'm not sure why that would be. They are missing one or two defenders. Connor Goldson's still there though, and he is probably their best header of the ball, but he was taken a little bit out by that corner, wasn't it? Because the corner went near post and he was marking more towards the centre. Yeah, well, in the early stages again, there have already been a couple of excellent deliveries from Celtic from that right-hand side. One from across from open play, and that corner kick as well, certainly causing problems inside the Rangers penalty area. But 7.5 minutes gone, independent off-tube studio commentary, and Celtic with the early lead in this Old Firm clash. And it is the home side in possession now, playing out from the back. It's with Carter Vickers. And from Celtic's point of view, they'll probably just want to hold on to the ball now for a few minutes just to really frustrate Rangers. They'll be chomping at the bit to try and get back into this game as quickly as possible. Yeah, Celtic starting out very bright. They've scored the goal, but they're still dominating possession. They've pushed their fullbacks really high up the pitch. This is a very aggressive start from Ange Postecoglou's side. It is, and it's paid off. It really has, as Rangers had that run into the edge of the Celtic penalty area inside the first minute. They've not really had any possession in the Celtic half since then. And straight from the kickoff, Celtic back in possession now, quite happy to just hold on to the ball in midfield as Starfelt steps forward, finds Taylor down the left-hand side. Bit of space here as well for the goal scorer Hatate, looking very busy at the start of the match, just trying to keep his teammate involved, going back towards Starfelt now down the left, inside towards McGregor, under pressure there from Arfield and Aribo. Rangers still unable to get hold of the ball as Roof tries to close down on McGregor. Celtic still keep the ball as a ball over the top, those picked off by Tavernier, bouncing away there from Kamara. But Arfield just gets that through to Roof. He slides in, but that's good play though from Starfelt. Rangers just about, almost looked like they could go on the counter-attack. Celtic back in possession though, down the left-hand side. Hodson now under pressure from Tavernier. He's got a couple of options. One of them is a 1-2 with Taylor. Hodson then running into the back of the Rangers man Tavernier and gives away the free kick. Yeah, Tavernier did really well there. He blocked off the run without fouling Hotter. In fact, lured Hotter in to make the foul on him, really, which helped his team clear the danger. They just need to get hold of the ball here, Rangers, don't they? They've not seen much of it. They've not got the midfielders involved in the game as yet. And Celtic have put on the full court press there and trying to prevent them from doing so.
Well, absolutely. We've had 9 minutes on the clock, and that's the thing. I think that's the first time I've mentioned Scott Arfield. And you know it's not been a good start for your team if the central midfielders aren't even getting on the ball. So certainly Rangers do need to just step it up a little bit. Just need to be patient as well, because the next couple of minutes you just get the feeling that Celtic are going to be quite purposely holding on to the ball here just to try and slow things down. As pass forward there from O'Reilly, doesn't quite get through towards Juranovic, out for a throw to Rangers down their left-hand side. It's Calvin Bassey leaves it here for Barisic. Looks like everything's fine now with Calvin Bassey after that clash of heads. Ball now going forward to Roof, flicks it on for Kent, and Kent's got some pace here. He was getting away from Starfelt and needed that cover there from McGregor. Yeah,
McGregor spots the danger well there, covering in behind his centre-back and puts it out for a throw-in. Celtic can just regather and get bodies behind the ball again.
Barisic now with the throw down the left-hand side. Doesn't look like he's winding up for a long throw. He's got 3 or 4 options here at the edge of the area. One of them is Arfield. Back to Barisic. Just put a bit of pace on that pass there. Arfield made it a bit more difficult for Barisic to control. McGregor puts it out for another throw. He's just got a second ball on the field here. It's Barisic looking for a Roof. Back to goal on the line here, trying to keep it in play. Goes back to Barisic. That's good play to find Ryan Kent. Now played back to the edge of the area here for Kamara. He's got 3 Celtic players around him. Just about gets the ball away from Giacomakis. The cross coming in from the left-hand side. It doesn't reach Roof. Bouncing inside the penalty area before it's hooked away by Starfelt, headed forward there by Connor Goldson over towards the left-hand side. This is a bit better from Rangers now. Kent just under a bit of pressure, trying to turn away from Abada. And then Barisic runs into Juranovic for a throw to Rangers. But this is what they needed to do just to get hold of the ball.
Yeah, it's just good play from the champions. This, they're trying to just take a little bit of sting out of the game. I mean, a goal would do that, obviously, but they can't afford to let Celtic dominate as the way they have done in the first 10 minutes. Just get hold of the ball and try and get some decent possession inside a Celtic half.
After that throw, the ball hooked up in the air. Rebo then leaves it here for Kamara. Kamara over towards Barisic. Tried to flick it to Kent, but he missed the ball completely. Out now for a Celtic throw down the right-hand side. Taken here by Juranovic. Giovan Broncos just pacing nervously there in his technical area. Sure, he would have wanted his side to have made a better start. They're responding a little bit now, but still no work for Celtic keeper Joe Hart. I'm not even sure if the back pass has gone back to him yet. As the throw for Celtic, one straight back here by the visitors. Good play here from Kent. Drops his shoulder and gets away from Giacomakis, who's actually playing a little bit deeper than we were expecting. Hasn't really got forward too much, but he gives away the free kick.
Yeah, referee Bobby Madden will be under a lot of pressure tonight. Already one key decision which he's had to make on the aftermath of the goal. But I think it was a foul there. It was just a little bit of a body check as he tried to slalom through the midfield. So Rangers have an attacking free kick inside the Celtic half.
They do. It's over on the left-hand side, probably about 40 yards out. Celtic sets up at the edge of the D with their offside line, but there's plenty of options here for Barisic with his left foot. Puts a bit of height on that, just gets away from Ariba, but it might still be kept alive here down the right-hand side. A cross fired in, deflected up in the air. Both teams fighting for it. It's headed up in the air by O'Reilly before it drops down the right-hand side. A chance there for Diallo, couldn't quite get the cross in, and it's eventually fired away and up towards the halfway line. Rangers just starting to knock on the door a little bit more. Still haven't been able to get a shot away though. Ball now back on the halfway line. Kamara just going square now to Bassey. Now square to Connor Goldson. Things just slowing down, but Rangers will be quite happy to have a bit of possession now.
Yeah, well, Celtic know they can't press all night. They've got to choose the moments. They obviously went very aggressive in the opening sort of 10 minutes there, got the goal and tried to keep the pressure on Rangers. But that possession that Rangers have had have just maybe made Celtic think again. They're just sort of dialing down the pressure they're putting on the Rangers defenders.
Long clearance there from McGregor up towards the halfway line. Just gets away from Aribo. Juranovic square to Starfelt. He was being closed down there by Diallo. Goes back towards Joe Hart. Taylor now down the left-hand side for Celtic, finding Reo Hatate, the goal scorer. Forward now, Hodgson trying the back heel. Taylor was chasing that one. It deflects off Tavernier out for a throw. Ball now goes back towards Starfelt. And Celtic will just be quite happy to hold on to the ball here. They were just a little bit slow in after they scored. I think it was quite deliberate to keep Rangers away from the ball. And now down the right-hand side, bit of pressure there for Juranovic going back towards Carter Vickers. But we made the point before kickoff that these sides, although they've had a couple of indifferent performances recently, their last defeats, I mean, there was the last defeat for Rangers was in November, for Celtic was in September in the league. So they really are they're leading the way at the top of the Scottish Premier League.
I think it's 13 games unbeaten, both of them coming into this game. I think Celtic's most recent defeat, though, wasn't in the league, it was in the Europa League, but they're on the attack again. Rangers, mistake there.
Mistake by Tavares, to strike, which is well saved by McGregor. The ball deflects up and it's headed over by McGregor and away for a throw, but that was so close at the edge of the area. A strike coming in, McGregor palmed it up in the air. And then it was Giacomakis coming in with the header. Fantastic
double save from the man who's set to be 40 this week, I think, or next week. And brilliant save initially from Jota after the mistake from Tavernier. And then the follow-up header from Giacomakis had plenty of power, but just a bit too close to the keeper, who managed to shovel it aside.
McGregor turned 40 on Monday, you're absolutely right. But here comes Celtic now with Abada breaking into the penalty and runs straight into a Rebo. Ball now hooked up in the air. It drops to Juranovic, trying to find McGregor, who'd stayed on the right-hand side. Kent now brings the ball out for Rangers before running into Juranovic, and it's out for a throw. But McGregor keeping his side in the game there.
Yeah, he did. And yeah, I mean, it's funny, isn't it, when you turn 40 as a goalkeeper, it's like turning 30 as an outfield player. You just get written off, and he did make those mistakes against Ross County last week. But what a game to, prove people wrong in. The Old Firm derby, where some Celtic fans would be ready to barrack him behind that goal, but he's already proven himself well worthy of his start tonight with those two good saves.
Absolutely. Won't thank his captain there, Tavernier, for giving the ball away in the way that he did. As Rangers win themselves a free kick there. Kemar Roof applauding the referee. I think he is already suggesting that he's perhaps had a couple of decisions go against him in this game. But on that occasion, he's just sort of the meat in the sandwich there, really, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, neither striker really. Obviously, Giacomakis had that effort there on the follow-up, but neither striker's really been involved too much in the game. Kemar Roof is a little bit isolated. He's tried to run the channels and offer.
Well, here comes Kent. He's running down that left-hand side. He feels as though he's being impeded there by Juranovic. The referee isn't having it, although Kent suggesting that he might have had his shirt pulled as well. Out for a Celtic throw, taken too quickly. Aribo's able to pick that off, but credit to the Celtic midfielder. O'Reilly wins the ball back for his side before Arfield runs it out for a throw. Rangers just couldn't make it stick in the Celtic half on that occasion. Throw one now to be taken by Juranovic down the right-hand side. As mentioned, McGregor turned 40 on Monday. Highly experienced goalkeeper, certainly the busier of the two in the 17 minutes we've had so far. Joe Hart's only really had to deal with a couple of passes back from his teammates, as he's just had now. Starfelt brings the ball forward for Celtic, and the crowd, I'm sure, will be baying for a second goal here, just to try and put the old enemy under even more pressure. It's down the left-hand side here now with Hotter going back towards Taylor, where now Starfelt over towards Carter Vickers. And you mentioned that Celtic have got to sort of pick and choose when they press. Rangers exactly the same, that they can't be charging forward as an 11 here because they're already a goal down.
Yeah, I don't think sort of pressing is really Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's style. He wants to dominate possession. He wants to be a little bit more methodical and thoughtful. There's a chance again for Celtic.
Great chance here as Juranovic finds the run inside the penalty over Abada. He plays it square, and it's another great save from goalkeeper McGregor. It's Giacomakis this time. Stopped again by the keeper. Celtic have taken it short, and they've taken it quickly. Chance to put a cross in here. Taylor towards the back post, and it's just a bit of a mess in the old there for Liel Abada. He almost had too much space, too much time. Well, now we know why he had too much space, because he was offside.
Yeah, well, we see in Celtic are really keeping the tempo high. The ball boys are on message as well, because they're getting the ball to the Celtic players for all the restarts very quickly. And it's just Rangers aren't being allowed to settle at all. They're not being allowed to reorganise in the breaks between Celtic's attacks. But for McGregor, this could be 2 or 3-0 already. He's pulled off a fantastic reaction, one-handed save there to keep it at 1-0.
Absolutely, yes. And Abada, as we say, made a bit of a mess of the header. He was offside. Just saw that from the replay. But that's where it's always a difficult role for the goalkeeper, isn't it? Because when you keep a clean sheet, it's almost like, well, good, he kept a clean sheet. As soon as you make a glaring error, that tends to cost your side a goal. And the fans, the pundits won't let you forget it. But Celtic with 5 shots in this game already, 4 of which have been on target, 65% possession. It's 35% possession for Rangers with no efforts on target or off target for the visitors so far, as Hatate is pushed off the ball there by Scott Arfield. The reaction of the former Canadian international suggests that he's not too impressed with that decision, but it is going to be a free kick to Celtic, just a little bit too far away to think about a shot, as Taylor was off down that left-hand side, as was Hotter. It looks like it is going to be taken here by O'Reilly. He's got a few options inside the penalty area, including the big frame of Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's currently being marked there by Bassi. Referee indicates for the free kick to be taken. There's a lot of pace on that free kick, a bit too much in the end. It whistles past everyone and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, it wasn't far off. He's had a couple of really good games since joining Celtic, Matt O'Reilly. I think he's had 8 chances created on his debut and 5 in his second match. He's got that wonderful left foot. On this occasion, he just maybe got a little bit too much pace on the ball, and it was too far beyond the back post.
Well, Rangers insisting on playing out from the back, and it's putting them under pressure straight away. They've made a bit of a mess of this short goal kick, as Celtic look to try and win it back at the edge of the Rangers penalty area. It goes out for a throw. It is a throw to Celtic. I'm just wondering whether Gio Van Bronckhorst might just send a signal to Alan McGregor to perhaps just punt it long a couple of times, because although there's a chance you'll lose the ball on the halfway line, it's better than losing it at the edge of your own box. Yeah,
it's a tricky one, isn't it? And he's gone with a different striker tonight, Roof, who's not bad in the air, but probably ideally doesn't want aerial balls going up towards him, whereas Cedric Kitten might be a bit more comfortable in that role. Here comes Celtic again, though. You can't take your eyes off this game.
No, it really is being played at a fast pace, though. It is the home side doing most of the running. That's a loose ball, though, picked off by Scott Arfield, and now finally a chance for Rangers to break out down the left-hand side here with Borna Barisic. He's got options ahead of him, just checks his run, though, stops, and is being hounded now by Callum McGregor, going back towards Calvin Bassi. He's under pressure from Giacomakis. Ball now back towards Alan McGregor. And a long clearance from the Rangers keeper this time. Just goes over the head of Arfield, drops to Roof. And the Roof holds it up. Arfield now charges forward. He brings the ball away. He's been brought down. That's going to be a free kick in the first booking of the game as well.
Yeah, he's really charged up, Callum McGregor. He's made a number of tackles, fighting fires all round the pitch. And he was bellowing as well at Barisic just moments ago before he's then run 40 yards across the pitch to tackle Scott Arfield. It is more of a body check than a tackle. He was guilty of another foul in midfield about 5-10 minutes ago. It's right that he's booked, I think. The referee needs to calm him down and set a precedent that those are the type of fouls that are going to get penalised.
Absolutely. The Celtic captain McGregor really fired up, but just stopping Arfield's run without really getting too much, making too much effort to actually win the ball there. So it was an easy decision for Bobby Madden. Free kick now to be taken by the Rangers captain Tavernier. He's got options inside the box. He lifts that towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away by Carter Vickers. Loose ball now drops towards Ryan Kent. Kent going back towards Barisic. Miscontrol there by the Rangers left back, having to check all the way back towards his own keeper there. Bit of a shame with all the Rangers players still at the edge of the area from that corner kick. And then a sliced clearance there from McGregor. Or maybe that's why he's not doing too many long goal kicks, because he wasn't under any pressure, and he got that one quite badly, Rob.
Yeah, and that's all come from their own set piece, which Celtic defended with one header, and then it was just the mere pressure and sort of energy of the Celtic players pushing Rangers back that forced that mistake.
Well, on this occasion, though, it's Hatate that's lost the ball, and now Tavier's off down the right-hand side. He switches play over towards the left to pick out Ryan Kent. 4 players for him to aim for in the box, but Kent tries to shoot himself. It's charged down by Juranovic, drops at the edge of the area as headed on now towards Diallo. Diallo, quick feet there, trying to get into the box. Just couldn't quite get a shot away, and the ball is cleared up towards the halfway line. Well, it's been the sort of fast-paced Old Firm derby that we've been hoping for. 23 minutes gone. It's Celtic leading Rangers by a goal to nil. It'll be side to take us through to half-time.
Oh, and Giacomakis has just rattled into Glenn Kamara inside the Rangers half, but the ball had gone. The referee is allowing play on as a long clearance from Goldson is aimed in the direction of Kent, headed clear by the Celtic defence. Now it's been won back by Arfield in midfield. Rangers trying to get some kind of passing rhythm going. Barisic back to Bassi, and now along to Goldson. Yeah, what a start to the game for Celtic. Are they just taking a bit of a breather now as Goldson gives it to Tavernier, who made that error which wasn't capitalised on by Celtic when initially McGregor made the save from Hotter and then denied Giacomakis with that brilliant save from the header. McGregor's clearance up towards Roof is headed down by Carter Vickers. It will break Kamara's way, and he now drives the light blues forward into the Celtic half. He's got Barisic pushing up high on the left-hand side. Kent goes outside. It's been fizzed in towards Roof. Try a little back heel to Ari, but will come off. Former Charlton man advances edge of the box. Then he's given it away to Hatate, of all players. And the winger knocks it back now to the supporting Taylor. Rangers trying to put some pressure on. Hatate gets it back from Taylor. Forced to the byline here. Tavernier gets a good foot in, but he's fouled the Portuguese winger. Given away a free kick to Celtic. So at the moment, 1-0 Celtic would take them top of the Scottish Premiership. I think for the first time this season, they've had to really make up some ground on Rangers, who of course won the first Old Firm derby at Ibrox early this season. That was just a 1-0 scoreline, wasn't it? I think Philip Helander got the only goal of the game. Celtic was still very much a work in progress under Ange Postecoglou during the early part of the season, but just you can see now what a tune he's getting out of this side, and with new faces in as well, they all seem to know exactly what their jobs are, and again they're winning the ball back in midfield. It breaks on the halfway line. Was a body check there on Juranovic, and it's going to result in a free kick to Celtic. It was Kent who knocked him down to the ground, and Celtic have a free kick.
Yeah, it's one of those that Kent didn't necessarily have to make as much of a collision there with Juranovic as he did. I think he just wanted to let the Celtic right back know that he was there. But as you mentioned, it was a bit of a slow start for Postecoglou. A lot of Celtic fans were unhappy with the style of play and also felt as though perhaps he wasn't getting the backing of the board, but just slowly he has actually put his mark down on the team.
Well, you can't say he's not had the backing of the board with the signings that were made in January, but yeah, I think it took a long time for Celtic to do the business they wanted to in August, and approaching that sort of summer transfer deadline. They had, of course, the distraction of trying to qualify for the Champions League, and then it was the Europa League as well. There were a lot of games in a sort of quick period of time, and yeah, not easy for Postecoglou at the start. As here comes Celtic again on the ball. Abada finding a pass in the penalty area, and a cross goes in. That wasn't it. Bosnia-Giacomakis is saved again, brilliantly this time by McGregor, who picks up the follow-up as well.
Well, once again, Giacomakis with in a great position here to try and extend Celtic's lead. Just a bit too much space at the edge of the area here as this cross comes in. It's lovely weighted ball, just a little bit behind him, but he still manages to get a bit of power. McGregor in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I noticed that Juranovic, for a right back, he's popping up in central areas a lot in this game. He's playing very much like a sort of a false defensive midfielder, a false fullback, if you like, sort of role that João Cancelo's had for Manchester City over the last couple of seasons. Here come Rangers again, edge of the penalty area. Aribo striding forward, goes down the penalty area, looking for something from the referee, who says no. Challenge came in from Greg Taylor. Very close thing that, whether he got the ball just in front of the player.
Well, the eyes of Greg Taylor says he may think he's got away with one here. Well, I suppose I wouldn't say he's lunged for the ball, but there doesn't seem to be too much contact with the ball there.
Yeah, Greg Taylor may be a bit lucky there. The referee saw it his way. He looked anxiously up at the referee. The cameras brought out that close-up very quickly. Here's Hatate, the goal scorer for Celtic, on the ball, as the side who were deposed as champions by Steven Gerrard's Rangers last season have the ball and have the lead. Out it goes again to Hatate, who's running at Tavernier. Now Hatate just ahead of him, tries to flick it through Galton's legs. He shuts his legs in time. The ex-Brighton defender knocks it out for a throw.
Well, once again, Celtic just trying to turn up the pressure here after a good few minutes of Rangers seeing more of the ball. But the trouble for Rangers is that in all that time when they had possession, they had a couple of half chances, a couple of opportunities to get across into the box. Celtic, in the meantime, have forced 3 or 4 great saves out of McGregor. So the home side still looking a lot more comfortable in this game.
Yeah, they certainly look as though they are more likely to score a second than Rangers are to equalise. And they come at Tavernier again. Hatate just maybe miscontrolled that one, allowed Tavernier to get a challenge in, and he hooks it clear, but it won't stick. Roof is central. It's gone out to the left-hand side, and now Starfelt walks it back into Rangers territory. Plays it across the halfway line to Carter Vickers, US international. Back to Starfelt in the gloves. Wide it goes to Hatate again. Now to Taylor. He's pushed in with Ahmad shadowing him. But Amad Diallo, of course, the Manchester United low knee, very little action in this game so far. I must be wondering what he's come to here, as here comes Abada on the attack, and he tries to get across, and it's blocked by Barisic, who then slides in but can't prevent the corner.
He can't prevent the corner, but the point you made about Diallo, he's not really had much of a chance in this game so far. But for a young player like him to be in this cauldron atmosphere, particularly if you're one of the away players, will certainly do him the world of good, I think, in terms of the experience of dealing with a tough atmosphere. And it's a short corner taken by Celtic.
Yeah, and here's O'Reilly on the follow-up, but he's just blocked off by Aribo's tackle, and now Rangers try and run it clear. It's a good ball looking for Kent now, striding through midfield. He's got he's got Ahmad actually, and attacking on the left-hand side into the penalty area, looking for Kent again. He was just eased off that by a great recovery run from Hatate. Well, he scored the goal, but he's made a very, very good recovery run from his own team's attacking corner there. He's tracked Kent all the way through midfield there and just eased that back to his goalkeeper. As now Celtic keep the pressure on. Coming down the right with Abada, up against Barisic. Aribo trying to block him off. He tries to wriggle between both, but can't get it to stick. And now Rangers clear it through Arfield and Barisic. Barisic, the Croatian, plays it inside. It was read like a book there by the man in the mask, McGregor. He gives it away to Arfield. It's got a bit scrappy now as Rangers play it back to Bassi. And now they find a man in space, Galton on the penalty spot. He plays it wide to Tavernier, the right back. Ahmad is making a run ahead of him. Tavernier is now looking infield, looking for Roof. He's found Kamara instead. It goes back to Galton. Half an hour gone in the Old Firm derby. Celtic could be going top of the Scottish Premiership. They lead 1-0 courtesy of that very early goal from Reo Hatate.
It was a great goal from Hatate early on. Rangers a little bit unhappy about the goal being awarded because they felt as though there may have been a head injury during the build-up to that goal. But you have to say that just on the balance of play, just on the energy levels and the direction going forward, Celtic are value for this lead. Rangers are doing what they can just to try and sort of almost force their way into this game, but it's just not working out for them at the moment. Yeah,
Alan McGregor's made 4 super saves to maintain this deficit of 1-0. Barisic now crossing position, left-hand side, hammers it into the body of Juranovic, and it goes out for a throw. Well, I think fullback positions were areas that Ange Postecoglou really wanted to address as soon as he got the job, but it's taken a bit of time for him to get the right recruits in. Obviously, Taylor was already there when he joined, but he stepped his game up. And now Juranovic doing a really good job on the right for Celtic as the ball's played wide here to Rangers right. And Tavernier tries to put a ball, it comes off the back of Hatate, goes behind for a corner. I think this might be Rangers' first corner of the game.
Yes, it is, and it's taken them 31 minutes to get this corner kick, and they're going to have a chance to get players into the box, a chance to test Joe Hart, which they've not really done at all in this game so far. Just Scott Arfield inside the 6-yard box right now, but the Rangers big men are arriving.
Yeah, Bassi's in there, Galton's in there. Here's the delivery from Tavernier, aimed to the back post. Roof and Galton converge, but it's knocked away by Celtic. There were arms up there from Rangers players thinking they were being impeded, but the referee had none of it. Now Tavernier gets the ball again, a little bit deeper on the right side, tries to drive a cross in. This was blocked well, though, by McGregor, who pokes it further forward towards Abada. Abada trying to take on Kamara, who just had his number on the halfway line, and shields it back for Galton, who dribbles across the park and now finds a pass to Bassi. Bassi now back into Celtic territory, has Kent now dropping deep. He now attacks the edge of the penalty area, tries to wriggle inside the retreating Giacomakis, who's there, and almost forces the mistake from Kent, who gets it back again. Corner of the penalty area, trying to get past Giacomakis, goes the drive low to the near post, and that is Rangers' first shot on target, but it was an easy save for Joe Hart.
It was. It rolled towards Joe Hart. If Kent had really put his foot through that, really put his laces through it, there might have been a chance they would have got a bit more rotation, might have just skipped up in front of Joe Hart, but as it was fairly regulation for him.
Rangers don't have a great deal to show for their opening 32.5 minutes endeavour in this game. Just one shot on target, and that was it. A fairly tame effort, as you heard, as this ball's won back by Celtic again. Lovely ball round the corner by O'Reilly, finds Abada, low ball into the back post, and Galton had to get there because just behind him Giacomakis had peeled away. He clears it out for a throw-in.
He does, and a chance now for Celtic to try and get forward again. A little bit of space here for Abada, and it was a teasing ball in, just not no one close enough to it as the throw-on is taken quickly, and Diallo back at the edge of his own box just about wins it back here for Rangers.
Yeah, he did well there against Jota, and he tries to bring it away now. The Ivory Coast international slips it back to Tavernier, back to Ahmad, who looks up and tries to play it back to Tavernier. He's put a lot on that ball. Tavernier's not going to catch it. It's going to go hit the corner flag. Oh, and it has stayed in. Eventually, the linesman gives a goal kick there, but it was a very ambitious ball from Ahmad, a sort of reverse pass back to Tavernier. He wasn't quite ready for it, and he didn't keep it in. We're seeing shots now of Dazen Maeda, who scored on his debut against Hibernian a couple of weeks back, who's made a incredible journey to get back from international duty to be on the bench for Celtic tonight.
Yeah, I mean, when you see about how players have spent all that time on the plane and effectively almost straight off the plane and onto the bench, just shows how much he wanted to be involved in this game.
McGregor turning the ball out to the Celtic left-hand side now, and Hatate on that right foot. Wand of a delivery in towards Giacomakis. Nippers goes down looking for a penalty under pressure from Bassi. Referee wants none of it, and it's cleared by Rangers, but Giacomakis got in there in the near post area, but he just sort of flopped to the ground.
He did. It didn't look convincing in terms of a penalty shout, really. But again, it's another ball into that Rangers box. It's another half chance there for Celtic, and then here they come again down the right.
Yeah, Juranovic gives it off to Abada. The Israeli finds Juranovic again. Now tries to go inside Barisic, but the defender was looking the other way and plays it back to Carter-Vickers. McGregor running the show in midfield, really, for Celtic now, although he's on that yellow card, of course, for the foul on Arfield. Plays it wide to Hatate. Trying to tease Tavernier. Go on the outside of him this time. Still going on the outside. Can he get a cross in here? Bangs it into the legs of Tavernier, but it will result in another Celtic corner.
Celtic corner, a chance now for the home side to get players into the box. The last few minutes has not been quite as easy for Celtic to get into that attacking mode, but they'll be very pleased to have this set piece. Rangers still struggling to get anything from their attack.
So Carter-Vickers and Starfelt both up for this corner as it's played high towards the back post. Headed away by Rangers. Drops on the edge to McGregor, who tries a half volley, but he spooned it over the bar.
Well, it set up nicely for him initially, but then his body was just slightly in the wrong position to really get a clean strike of the ball. And in the end, it goes a long way wide. As there, Giacomakis goes down. I mean, he is being held onto there briefly by Calvin Bassi, but the dive afterwards is like something out of the 90s, that, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's the way he goes down that doesn't do him any favours there, really. I mean, there was contact, but I think, in an Old Firm derby, you can expect a bit of grappling one way and another. 10 minutes to half-time. Celtic in the lead still. Can they maintain it or even increase it before we get to the half-time whistle? It's been a really high-tempo affair so far. Rangers haven't seen anything like the amount of possession they would want to, with Giovanni van Bronckhorst trying to turn this team back into a sort of more possession-based, or trying to develop them into that sort of possession-based style, but they've fed on scraps so far, really. Celtic have been so good. And the Hoops have it again at the back now with Carter-Vickers back to Hart. Now there's some pressure on him from Kent. Plays it wide to Starfelt by his own byline. Down the line he goes. Now it's turned up the line towards Hatate, but he can't do much of that. And it's resulting in a Rangers throw. So finally the Rangers press has some progress there, but the ball's given away from the throw-in and Celtic knock it clear. Rangers pick it up on the halfway again. Bassi's then pointed to go back to his own goalkeeper there. Barisic didn't want it. And now McGregor sets it back towards Goldson. McGregor again, all in orange tonight. Plays it across to Bassi. He's been harried by O'Reilly as he goes back to his goalkeeper.
This is what we both noticed, is that I've been impressed with how the pressing from Celtic is almost done in shifts, isn't it? O'Reilly isn't a forward, but he was the highest up there trying to press. Earlier we saw McGregor going forward, we saw Hatate doing the same, so it's almost like they're letting players recover a little bit and send another player forward to try and put the pressure on Rangers.
Yeah. I've seen Juranovic do it as well from full-back, so they get at them at all angles, really. And now Rangers have it with Barisic just over the halfway line now, poking it forward towards Kent. Goes on the overlap. I don't think he really wants it back here as Kent now jinks inside, tries to feed it in towards Ahmad's feet. He's lost it in a challenge from Hatate, but then wins it back. Plays it back to Joe Aribo. Now Kamara, centre field, 25, maybe 30 yards out now. The Finland international finds Ahmad in shooting range on his right foot as he plays it wide to Tavernier. Tavernier tries to measure a crossing, tries to ping it in towards the back post. Nobody read his intentions, though, and it goes behind for a goal kick, which Joe Hart's already taking. There is no let-up here from Celtic, and it's a good delivery as well from Hart out to the right for Abada, who keeps it in, plays it off the legs of Bassi and wins his side of throw-in.
Well, as you said, the restart there from Joe Hart was rapid. He really got that ball, and it was a very accurate pass as well to pick out his teammate down the right-hand side. Good covering there from Bassi just to stop any potential counter-attack there from Celtic. Yeah,
like I say, Celtic ball boys have been very good at getting their players the ball very quickly on restarts, and it must be something come from the manager there, Postecoglou. He's seen something about Rangers. He thinks that if you give them time to settle, it can be a bit harder to break down. They're into the penalty again here, Celtic. Ball cut back towards the penalty spot, but Kamara's there to cover it, finding Barisic, who knocks it over down the line. It's going to be kept in by Juranovic, who flicks it inside to Carter Vickers. And now Celtic will start again. Inside the centre circle, Starfelt up towards Hatate. Turning, using McGregor as a shield there to buy himself half a second more. McGregor now finding a bit of space left-hand side of the midfield three. He's got Hotter coming in off the flank. Taylor goes outside to fill the space. It's very fluid. It's very good movement from Celtic so far. And they have it again. Juranovic, the false fullback, moving it back towards Starfelt again. Now Hotter. Boxer tricks coming off that Celtic left-hand side, still going here, beavering away, maybe just showing a little bit too much of that to Kamara, who snapped into a challenge and wins it back for Rangers. Good feet from Kamara, moves it away and finds Tavernier attacking a space right-hand side. Ahmad has got to stay wide here to give Tavernier a chance to find him, and he does. Ahmad now up against the fullback Taylor, jinking inside, trying to use his tricks, but he can't get past Taylor first time of asking. Does manage to retain the ball, but then Taylor's won it back, and now Ahmad trying to nutmeg Hatate, but the Japanese defender does really well, midfielder does really well, puts it out for a throw.
Yeah, intense there from Hatate. Didn't want to give Ahmad any time on the ball, but Ahmad's just getting into the game a little bit more now.
Yeah, linking up with Tavernier quite well. They've obviously got to establish a relationship, those two. Ahmad just fresh really from Premier League football. Not much of it as well for Manchester United. In fact, really, even last season when he was more regular at Old Trafford, it was only really Europa League action he was getting, not really much Premier League game time. So this is going to be such a frantic game. It's a great ball here for Alfield, who goes through, but then Hart's off his line. And just as they opened up there, it closed just as quickly as Hart came off his line to smother the pass to Arfield.
What a superb ball this is from Joe Aribo. Splits the defence. Maybe you could ask the question of whether the Celtic defence was split a little bit too easily there, but the ball just a little bit too close to Joe Hart.
Yeah, central defenders there got caught ball watching. There was a big hole between them, and Arfield filled it with a very good run, but they've got to keep an eye on him. He's known for his ability to sort of arrive late in the box. Did score recently, of course, for Rangers in the win they had against Livingston, I think it was. A great offer here from Hatate, and he's just scored the second for Celtic on the stroke of half-time. He was found on the edge of the penalty area, measured a shot towards the left of goalkeeper McGregor, and this time he can't keep it out. It's Celtic 2, Rangers 0.
Well, Hatate's having a fantastic game this evening, doubling Celtic's lead here just a few minutes before half-time. And it really is just Rangers a little bit too slow to react here inside their own half. Good run down the right-hand side. And then it's a nice little switch there to get Abada into the game. Hatate, he only takes one touch. He's a right footer, stood on the right-hand side of the penalty area, or the edge of the penalty area, I should say. You wouldn't have thought he had much of an angle for a shot, but he was so quick in making his mind up, McGregor couldn't respond in time. Yeah,
Hatate with a fantastic strike. He's used the defender as a shield there. McGregor's not sighted, is he? Because he's bent it round Goldson into the corner of the net. And the Rangers keeper, who made 4 great saves earlier, couldn't keep that one out. Celtic 2, Reo Hatate 2, Rangers 0.
Absolutely, just 3 minutes to go until half-time. That's not what Gio van Bronckhorst and his coaches would have wanted to see. Rangers just slowly getting into some sort of rhythm. It's those fine margins, isn't that? Great ball from Aribo to Arfield, just a little bit too much on that. If Arfield gets there first, he makes it 1-1. A minute later, Hatate makes it 2-0.
Yeah, he's just fouled Ahmad on the far side to give Rangers a free kick. They've played it back to Bassi. But 2-0 in the Old Firm derby is dreamland for these Celtic supporters. 60,000 of them inside Celtic Park this evening. You're listening to Off-Tube studio-based commentary. Hope we're bringing you a taste of the atmosphere of this fantastic and traditional fixture, which Celtic could be going top of the Scottish Premiership this evening as Aribo loses the ball. Juranovic gets back. He's being hassled by Kent. Has he given away a corner? Referee Madden points for a goal kick.
Yeah, just out for a goal kick. It's hard really to pick out a Celtic player who's played badly in this first half. They've just had a very solid start to the game. Hatate, of course, with his 2 goals, is outstanding from the rest of his players. But certainly, I've been impressed with the way that Abada's got into the game. Giakoumakis and Hotta perhaps not seeing as much of it, but as it turns out, it's not a problem because Celtic as a unit are looking very organised and now with a 2-goal lead. Yeah,
they're looking very good for the 3 points at the moment, but still a long way to go. Can Rangers turn it around as Tavernier blocks Hotter's progress down that Celtic left-hand side. It's going to be Taylor with the throw-in. Goes down towards a corner flag. Hatate, a bundle of energy, tries the cross in towards the near post. Great chance here for 3-0! And it is 3-0. It's Liel Abada who steals in to flick home from a brilliant cross from Reo Hatate. It's 2 goals and an assist now for the Japanese.
Well, I'll tell you what, there's no away fans allowed in these old firm games now. Maybe that's just as well from Rangers' point of view, because they wouldn't want to know what that away end would be saying now. 3-0 down Rangers before half-time. And it's just Celtic just steamrolling past their opponents. Again, it's another great ball in from the left-hand side this time, but where's the marking? Abada he's got square yards around it when nobody's marking him. It's a lovely finish. He times his run to perfection and just flicks that ball. Is that Hatate with the crossing as well from the left-hand side? Yeah,
Hatate with a brilliant cross. Barisic caught on his heels. Abada accepts the invitation to steal in and just flicks it with a minimum of fuss beyond McGregor, who could do nothing about that.
It's a left-footed cross as well from Hatate. He's having an excellent game when you think that he scored the 2 goals with his right. And Rangers in all kinds of trouble now. And that half chance where the ball was put through to Arfield is even more significant now. Yeah, so the Celtic fans are in full cry at Celtic Park. They lead 3-0 before half-time. I was just about to say, actually, that Rangers, they're not going to equalise before half-time, but they could really, they just need to make sure they sort of shore themselves up. But now they're 3-0 down, and the game seems beyond them now. There's very little chance of Rangers coming back to win this now, you would say. And well, what can we expect from Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's side in the second half, or indeed from Celtic? Can they go on and score more goals now? The tide is really with them, as there's going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Arfield plays it forward. It's volley clear by Starfelt. Challenged by Giacomakis, who thinks referee, and I think the referee sees a foul there by Giacomakis on Goldson, maybe offside as well. So it is a free kick to Rangers now. But Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has got a serious half-time team talk to produce here. As Barisic takes it in traffic, knocks it to Aribo. Loose ball from him though, picked up by Abada, who drives at the heart of the Rangers defence. Didn't quite find the same wavelength as Giacomakis and pokes it behind for a Rangers goal kick. No, he almost won the ball too quickly for his own good there, because he got to the edge of the area and realised where Giacomakis was and just couldn't quite check his run and just played the ball down the right-hand edge of the penalty area. Giacomakis couldn't get behind it. But yeah, the Celtic fans absolutely jubilant now. We've got a minute of injury time still to play in this first half, and Celtic running riot. Yeah, as Rangers have the ball, edge of their own penalty area. Bassi plays it forward towards Roof, who's dropped deep this time to try and get some possession. Now he spreads it wide to the right side. Great ball to Ahmad, who heads it in field, but Taylor anticipated. Ahmad's going to pick up the pieces there, although he can't prevent it going out for a throw into Celtic. And, Ange Postecoglou is going to have a statue built for him, I think, outside the ground on the basis of this, because he took over a team in real turmoil back in the summer. It wasn't really Celtic's first choice for the job. Eddie Howe had them on a piece of string for a long time and eventually decided against it. Another ball into the penalty area. Rangers defend it. It wasn't particular, I guess, maybe an attractive job for anybody, any top manager at the time, because Celtic was so far behind Rangers. 20 points or so, I think it was, in the title race last season. And we're losing players left, right and centre. But Postecoglou has done brilliantly at half-time in the second Old Firm derby of the season. It is Celtic 3, Rangers 0.